Thanks, Gregor. Afternoon, Paul. What's the significance of reaching the milestone of 1,000 games mean to you?
Uh, yeah, it means a lot. I think it just means, you've done a pretty good job your whole career. You've been a consistent player, but, it's just an honor. I think just to be able to play this game this long and to keep having fun and enjoy it and call it a job. But, from, I was 4 years old, 5 years old. To me, it's always been what I've loved to do, and I still love to do it, and so the love's still in the game. And I think that's the most important thing for me is I enjoy it. My family enjoys it, and so if they're happy, I'm happy, then we're all happy. And so that makes it a little easier. But I don't know, something like today to me more is just about like an opportunity to kind of thank the people that got me here, whether it's, my parents or my brothers and sisters. They're always like my biggest supporters and always have my backs and always want the best for me. So they don't get a lot. I mean, they get a lot of love kind of, internally, quietly. I'm not a guy who likes the public limelight, but it's times like these I can thank them for everything that they've done, everything that they do, and everything that they still do for me.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Paul, you talk about family, and boy, your family's story is incredible. You know how your uncles and I think your dad's wife got out of Czechoslovakia into Quebec, and now you're a Canadian and American citizen. How does all that history affect your perspective, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just I've seen a lot and more. I've learned a lot. I've listened a lot, and I think when I'm around my parents, around my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, I really see, the world they grew up in. I've seen how much has changed. So I think kind of teaches you a little wisdom, it gives you more knowledge to understand what's going on in the world and realize that you're not living in this little hockey bubble that a lot of us athletes do live in when we play, and we're so preoccupied and focused on just the game and nothing else. And as I've gotten older, my dad's always kind of harped on having a different perspective, realizing there's more to life than hockey. And I think that was passed on from when I was in juniors or college, just because he knew how hard it is to play in the NHL, how hard it is to make a life out of it. And he also knew that, when you're done playing, no one's going to, people might remember you as a hockey player, but, life goes on and people remember you as the person you are. And you realize you got, 2/3 of your life still still left ahead of you. So you got to learn other parts of life. So it's been, it's something I love. I love the history I just love history, kind of world history, sports history, anything like that, because I think you learn a lot and it teaches a lot.
We'll go next to Kelly Moore from 680 CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thank you, Gregor. Congratulations, Paul. Quick question. I just read that great story from Jeremy Rutherford. So will you celebrate with Taco Bell tonight after the game? And also, how does this compare to just a short time ago when you played 977 in Vancouver?
Yeah, this is, I don't know, they're both special days. I don't know. Like I said, 977 was fun just because I had, a leg up on my dad, at least in one stat. But this one I think is, this one's like kind of more special, something you'll remember for the rest of your life. Other people will, but that's funny you say about Taco Bell, because I was kind of thinking about that last night with my wife. But the problem is, everything being shut here, I think during the week, Taco Bell's not open too late. So the game might be over at, Taco Bell might close at 10 o'clock. So might have to skip on that one, but maybe tomorrow for dinner, my wife and I will get it. Just something that we've kind of have a love for it. As we've gotten older, we kind of just still do it, a couple of times a year, whether it was when we were just staying or whether, it was after our wedding night. It's always part of us. So got to keep the history going.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks very much, Gregor, and congratulations. Paul, I guess if there's one regret, is it going to be that you can't have kind of all those who have meant so much to you along the way in the building tonight? Is that going to change it in your eyes?
Whatever, it is what it is. I think it could be not playing, right? And then you don't know if you're playing next year. You might never get there. Yeah, I wish they were here. Like I said, I think they had as big a role as anyone to me getting here, but I know they'll be watching. I know I've already, talked to a bunch of them. but at the same time, I don't like having a big party, kind of celebrate myself. So that's kind of nice, kind of be low key about it. But yeah, as long as, my family's gonna be here, my wife and kids, are finding a way to get here. So I think that's important to me. And as long as I have a little family with me here, to share the moment, that makes it extra special.
We'll go next to Jeff Hamilton from the Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Paul, congratulations on meeting this milestone. You look at, your entrance into the NHL and obviously now sitting here with the Winnipeg Jets. What are you most proud of over your career playing 1,000 games?
I don't know, just trying to be a consistent player. I think kind of adapting or kind of evolving with the game as it is from, I think when I came in the league, it was a completely different game. Learning on the go from different guys, whether it's, it was my first year watching guys like LaPerriere, Hayduk, Brunette, Sakic, Footy, the way they took care of themselves and kind of laughed it off. And, you realize, 5, 10, 15 years later, there's a reason those guys all had such long storied careers, because they took care of themselves. And, but you learn from those guys because you don't have any regrets. I think I know a lot of guys that, live a fast life, love the game, didn't take care of themselves. And then, 3 or 4 years later, once they're done playing, you still hear complaining about, oh, I could have done this or could have done that. But it takes sacrifice. And yeah, sometimes you can sacrifice things, but you're doing it for love of the game, I'm just fortunate. I've been fortunate to be around good people to learn from. And I've been fortunate to have, like I said, a supporting family with my parents and my sisters and with my wife and kids that let me do it and kind of make it as easy as possible for me.
We'll go next to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. Hi, Paul. Congratulations on the 1,000-game milestone. For me, the question is, of all of the hockey gap-toothed teeth stories, how is it possible that you lost yours starting off with baseball? And also, is it true that you chipped Jan Stastny's teeth as boys growing up learning the game?
Yeah. So, it was the seventh. That is the, everyone asked me how I lost my teeth originally, and it was in 7th grade. I think we were playing baseball outside, and it was kind of like misting. And we went back inside. This was like during PE or gym class, and I went back outside because it wasn't raining hard enough, but it was still a little slick. And me and my buddy were kind of standing behind home plate, kind of like it was like a softball kind of thing, and probably good like 20, 30 feet, not close enough. And all of a sudden, guy took a, I know the kid's name, I don't want to say it, but he took a swing and just slipped out of his hands. And me and my good buddies were basically shoulder to shoulder, and I took the full barrel of the bat, like right in the mouth. And I remember like kind of dropping down, and I found like the littlest piece of tooth, and I thought I was going to be a hero and bring it back to the dentist and be like, hey, look, can you put this back in? When really I had no idea that, I probably knocked part or almost all of 8 front teeth. And then from that day forward, I think my mouth kind of just became a magnet. And, some guys get hit in the nose a lot. Some guys get hit in the chin. Some guys, it's kind of like Murphy's Law kind of thing. It just seems to me every time I get hit somewhere, it's always in the mouth. And, from that day forward, I was pretty good. And my first game at World Junior evaluation camp for Team USA, I wore first time I ever wore a half shield. I didn't realize guys wore mouth guards because you don't really notice it. I took a stick in the mouth. And then right before I went back to college, one of my sophomore year, I was skating with AAA kids in St. Louis, took a stick right in the mouth, and it just goes on. And then I thought I got it fixed last year, and then I took a stick in the mouth this year. So it almost makes sense that I don't have the teeth in for 1,000 games because, whatever, 800 or 900 games in my career, I've been missing teeth. And that's how people remember you. And that just, you can't get away from it. And then back to my brother. Yeah, he still complains about that. I think it was off face-off and Aaron high stick. And then I think I was just scared to death because my brother's 3 years older than me. It was always, he's always strong. And his big brothers always have that mental edge on you. And so I remember he probably just chased me down the rest of the day on the ponds or on the lakes, wherever it was. And I was just looking for mom and dad to protect me as much as I can.
We'll go next to Paul Edmonds from 680 CJOB Jets Radio. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Paul, congratulations. Great milestone. You've had a bit of a parochial sort of career here when it came to youth hockey in St. Louis. You played for the Blues. You went to college in Denver. You played for the Avs. What do you recall about your first game with Colorado in 2006?
Yeah, I mean, I just not much. I remember we lost 3-2, I believe, or maybe 4-2. I believe it was 3-2, and I just remember just being excited. I think the one thing I remember was we played Dallas in preseason like 2 or 3 times. At the time, I think we played. I must have played like 8 preseason games. I remember I played every single one of them. So then I kind of had an idea maybe I might have a chance of making the team, but I actually had no expectations of making it. I got kind of lucky. I had a coach that gave me an opportunity that didn't care where I came from, how old I was in Quinville. And then I had, a couple of guys got hurt. So that kind of opened the door for me. But I just remember playing a preseason game and going out there and watching Mike Modano. And he was like flying. I was like, all right. And then I remember the first regular season game was against Dallas. I think Modano was moving probably twice as fast. His jersey was wavering. And 2 things I remember from that game was one time he like went to dump it in on his backhand side and he kind of took like a half slapper backhand. I just remember it was probably the hardest like half slapper backhand I've ever seen, rimmed all the way around the net. And then and then I got to feel like Marty Turco because I think it was a 2-2 game at the time. I hope I'm not wrong, but I think it was a 2-2 game at the time. And we had a power play. We're looking good. And they came out of the box and Turco got the puck, kind of sauced it over everyone. And they got a goal. And I was just like, all right, well, this is what Marty Turco you've been playing video games with. And you hear about how good he is stick handling and you realize how fast you go from offense to defense and the game can change. So that was special. That was fun. But those are kind of 2 things I remember from that game.
We'll go next to Sarah Lesky from TSN. Go ahead, Sarah.
I'll add my congratulations as well on the 1,000 games, but just kind of following up a little bit on Jeff's question, when you look at your career up to this point and through those first 999 games, how would you describe your career?
It's pretty good. I think I don't know. I'm not one to like talk about myself. You have to ask other guys. I've learned a lot. I've enjoyed every step I've had. I have no regrets. Where there have been bumps in the roads, I've kind of looked at the positives that came out of it. Every team I've been on or every year I played in, and then I think I've grown from there and matured from all those situations. And I think that's kind of something I kind of take a lot of pride in.
Just a few more for Paul. We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Paul, I just want to ask you about kind of your legacy here in Winnipeg. Obviously, your time here is not done, but when you look back to 2018 and first waiving the no trade here, would you say it's fair for those who say, your contribution to this franchise just in waiving that no trade and obviously what happened in that spring of 2018, that was such a meaningful event for this organization to kind of announce itself as a real contender?
Yeah, I think they've always been a real contender. I think, maybe blown out of proportion a little bit. I think doing that was like I try to tell guys now, it's you just want to be on a winning team, and too many people are caught up in trying to be comfortable where they are, where they know they're scared of change. And I get that, but sometimes, you go to a new team, it kind of brings new life to you and a lot of good things come out of it. But when that happened, I think that was a special year. I think, I still look back on it like what could have been, but it just shows you how hard it is to win. But, coming 4 years later or 3 years later, we come full circle. My family and I come back to Winnipeg, but just being here that short amount of time, thinking when you do waive that no trade clause, it's going to be, potentially 2-3 months and that's it. You'll just be on the ice. You don't even know if your family's going to be there. Maybe they'll come up for playoffs. And we went all in together. They came up right away. And what felt like 3 months felt like 3 years. So we enjoyed it so much. And kind of just speaks to the volume of the city of Winnipeg, the people of Winnipeg, the organization, the players, and how welcoming everyone is and how kind of a tight-knit community it is around here.
We'll go back to Paul Friesen from the Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, what's your next goal now? What's left for you? Is it 1,000 points or something else?
Just get a win tonight. I think when you're younger, you're always kind of looking to the future. You kind of, I want to do this, do this, do this, and then you realize how, life doesn't work that way. I think there's a lot of unpredictability. There's a lot of curveballs, kind of like curves in the road. You never know where you're going to end up being. So you kind of enjoy where you are. You enjoy the moment. Everyone does it, right? Everyone does. Everyone gets too caught up in looking, if it's 2 weeks on the road or three months on the road or 3 years on the road. So I don't want to do that, especially now that I'm kind of towards the end of my career. Yeah, I could look at what's next, but at the same time, if I'm having fun, I'm enjoying this, and my family's, enjoying it as well. To me, it's just, just keep a smile out there, enjoy the game, and do it as long as I have the love for the game. And once that love disappears, or once I can't keep up, once that motivation's not there, then I'll kind of look ahead to see what's next. But for now, I'm just kind of enjoying the ride for what it is.
And final question to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. I guess following up on the sort of reflective mode, I think of that 2018 team, and the Jets had so many very young players going very far early on in their career. And you're talking about the importance of staying present. Is there, if you even think of yourself as a young guy, is there anything that you now could say to him that could convince him to stay present and appreciate what is when it is? Because I guess life must move really fast for an NHL player.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's hard because, especially during playoff time, I think like everything's such an emotional roller coaster, right? You win one, you think you're going to win 15, the next 15, you lose one, you think you're going to lose the next 3 and it's over. Or you sweep or you get swept. There's so many different things that go on. And so I think that's part of playoffs, that you come to realize that when things get super emotional like that, you just gotta, once the game's over, once that night's over, next day, turn the page and like restart every day. Just because, like I said, all you're doing is focus on hockey, and then sometimes it's bad because when things are going bad, you're just compounding the problem in your head and you're overthinking things. So being older, having my dad there to talk to me about it, having a family or having friends, having hobbies away from hockey, I think has probably been the best thing for me, because then it keeps me away from the game when I'm not home, and then I get back to the rink or in night 4 when I'm ready for the game. I can go all in and have all the energy, all the attention towards the game, and really focus on what needs to be done.